Good evening. This is MODIAK, and I'm going to be working on a project I've been wanting to do for a while. This is a little bit of a bucket list idea. Not that I, have to do this before kicking the quote-unquote bucket. It's just good practice. But anyways, I'm not going to go on and on and on about a bunch of useless stuff. Let's get to the real reason we're here. We're going to do some creativity. I'm going to create some music, and I'm going to try to not get super carried away by the details of it. So I'm using Caustic 3. This is an app on my Samsung Android phone, and I've done a lot of creativity with this program. Before getting too carried away with stuff, let's just get to creating some music, and we'll explain some stuff while we go. So the goal is to create some music. We've got a blank, brand new program here. We got some blank spots where we can put some instruments, and you see there's an effects and a mixer and a master and a sequencer. We're not going to get too carried away with that stuff. Right now, first thing I want to do is I'm just going to decide on a few things for this piece of music. First things first, let's save it, and let's create a song name. I don't want to go too crazy, so let's just call this I'm going to call it Digital Sun. Why not? We can always change the name later, right? But the whole point is it's saved, and that actually kind of helps the program run just a little bit smoother, I find. Okay, let's get to making some music. So we're going to be working with patterns here. Oh, sorry, before we get too carried away with that either. So we saved the name. Now here we can decide on tempo, time signature, and also the scale. And this is actually one of the useful things with Caustic, particularly the scale function. I have been really enjoying lower BPMs. Let's go 85 beats per minute. And I enjoy really just, I find playing this kind of, creating with this kind of music. I'm playing around with just 5/4. It feels kind of natural to me. And you'll see what I mean once we actually start creating some loops with it. 5/4, as far as I understand, isn't a very common time signature. Mind you, I'm not like, hey, look at me, I create in 5/4. All right, and scale. So right now we're just in chromatic scale in the key of C. Very simply that. One of the things I like with Caustic, I'm just going to move my face over here. You can pick your key. I like working in D. But then you can also pick your scales, right? So you can go major, minor. Then you got a few other, typical. Not anything's really typical, but just different sounds. And then I've actually made a bunch of my own bizarre, just sort of playing around. That's a fun one. Yeah, but for today, I kind of liked, I'm kind of digging that pentatonic minor. It's going to sound a lot like if I ever play guitar, just master of noodling up and down in pentatonics. Okay, so D pentatonic minor. Nerds will be nerds. Hey, I've given you something to talk about. Am I just being lazy? Am I crazy? Does it not even matter? Make comments. Actually, I'm interested in learning. Okay, so song parameters are set, let's get to the music. Now, I have no idea what I want to create. I've done this many times, and I'm just wanting to see, hey, what can we do in a live setting? So we got essentially channels. We have about 14 channels, and we can put in a digital instrument on any one of these channels, and we can control a bunch of different parameters for each one. And each instrument has its own unique role to play, essentially. And we got about 12 different instruments to choose from. Let's see, I've never tried to be creative and conversational at the same time. So, hey, hooray for pushing new boundaries. Something I'd like to do is to just create some atmosphere, some background first, like something that you would almost not even really notice. Usually hissing, humming, buzzing, the things that people try to get rid of most of the time in music. And for this role and purpose, great noise generator. We're just going to play around with the 8-bit synth. 8-bit synth is kind of what it sounds like. It's pretty unique because you actually can make, you type in a formula and it'll generate sound based on that formula. And it's basically like a JavaScript formula. As you can see there, like 71 divided by t to the power of t, and it sounds like, yeah, 8-bit. I'm just hitting the random there. Yeah, very noisy. I'm actually just going to turn that volume down a little. I find it can be a little harsh. That's actually kind of fun. Let's bring it down to a low octave. Oh yeah, no, that's cool. And then this gives you 2 channels to work with, that you, an A and B, and you can blend between them. It's going to turn over to the B, so you notice we can't hear anything. Switch to B. Oh yeah, there we are. Kind of like hyper fart. Love it. Oh yeah, no, that's really cool. And we can blend. That's our A sound, and that's the B sound. And then we can do different octaves of it too, right? But I really like that as like a low. That's really cool. We can even go even lower because there's an octave control on the synthesizer itself. It's so low that it's not even registering as a sound. It almost sounds more like a beat. I think I like it more as just, yeah, I like that. All right, so now we kind of have an idea what we want to do, and then with the instrument, what we can do is we have a what's essentially a key roll for programming MIDI. Yeah, and I kind of just like that. And because this is going to be a drone instrument, I'm going to have it go up to 8 measures. We're just going to have it drone like that. Now, the nice thing is with this, you hit play, and it'll play essentially what you've put, and then you can just keep building layers upon layers upon layers. And I love doing this. Now, we gotta play just that key the whole time. I'm gonna have it jump up. So we're gonna have 4 measures of whatever note that is. I don't know my notes. And then 4 measures of just the next note up higher. All I know is it's not D. All right, so we can do a few other things with this now. Yeah, no, that's cool. We got some effects that we can play with. Now, I love how limited some of these effects are. You're just using the little bits that you have access to. All right. I kind of want this to have a little bit of movement to it. You can see these are all the different effects that we can choose from. I want this to be maybe just a little lower, a little more background. We're going to just add a multi-filter on there first. I'm going to move my face. And we're going to cut some of that the high frequencies off there. Yeah, that's cool. And we're gonna get maybe a little advanced. Do something advanced. That's so like me. Let's just do something advanced right off the beginning. So I'm gonna add a compressor. Now you're gonna notice this compressor isn't doing anything, but we're gonna have a little bit of fun with it when we start playing around with the next instrument. And then of course we've got the mixer, and the mixer has of course bass, mid, high. And then a few other controls. It does send to a reverb and a delay effect, which are that reverb and that delay, which are a part of the mastering section. And then there's a width and a pan. Width actually just does some pretty neat stuff. Essentially, what that's doing is it's taking the frequencies and splitting them between the left and the right channel. And actually, since this instrument's just kind of sitting still, there's not a lot of movement in it. It's kind of neat to just have it split between the left and right. It really broadens that stereo field. And I'll try not to say stereo field too much. But hey, if you want a drinking game, as we continue here, take a shot every time I say stereo field. Or And we're gonna reduce some of those highs again. Yeah, we're just having like a nice low hum. It's really kind of chill, but there's a little bit of intensity to it too. I'm not really going to do too much with the master effects though. We're going to save. Let's add another instrument then. I'm liking this. Let's add some more layers to what we got going on here. So we got a nice low level. I was almost thinking something more. Originally, I was thinking something more airy. I got an idea. Let's do PCM synth. Now PCM synth is, man, there's so much you can do with this. It's basically a like a sampler. One of the ones I enjoy, I think might be the Ethica. Yeah. It's almost like an atonal, airy or not an orchestra, but a choir. Very eerie. Now, before I do too much editing to the sound, yeah, right about there. It's going to join the other pattern. We're going to do 8 measures. I'm not going to always explain everything I do. Just enjoy. Yeah, that's cool. Like that. In this synth, there's a few other options that we have. So there's a filter, there's an LFO, and also we got some pitch control in this synthesizer as well. Fun thing to do is add some filter. And then control that filter with the LFO. Maybe not really the best with that effect. Ooh. Pitch. Wow, wow, wow. Kind of watery. It's a very light pitch effect. Be very subtle. Cool. Yeah, I dig that. Okay, effects again. Kind of liking how chaotic this sounds. Let's make it a little more chaotic. Add some vibrato. Vibrato does exactly what you think it what you think it's going to do. Makes it sound like it's like getting bounced up and down, or it makes it sound like it's a rubber band essentially. I'm not looking to make it sound like a flying saucer though. I'm just kind of showing what we can do with this. We have two different options. There's just kind of using both left and right going up and down at the same time, or we can split it between stereo, so now it's like going up and down between left and right. There, it's going to have maybe like almost like an analog effect now between the left and right. Once again, things that you're not going to notice, but I like the subtlety of different things when creating music. You know what? We're going to do the advanced thing again, just for fun. Just going to add a compressor on there. And the compressor's not really going to be doing a whole lot. Now, there's really nothing cool about that compressor. But we're going to do something interesting with it once we start playing around with the drums a little bit. Work on our mix a little bit. Want this to be a little more high. And let's add a little bit of reverb. So something we can do is we can solo the channel. So now we're just hearing this one instrument. And we're telling the mixer to send it to the reverb. So now it's coming through the reverb. So we can adjust how that reverb's going to sound. I like a fairly intense reverb. Large room size. Kind of like a go big or go home kind of thing. Yeah, we'll increase the high frequency damping, high diffusion. A stereo delay kind of splits the delay between the left and right. So one side's going to be a little slower than the other side. Adds once again like a spreading effect to the stereo field. And the stereo spread, once again, that's kind of doing that same thing where it's taking the frequencies and it's splitting them between left and right. Yeah, that's just a big messy reverb now. What I'm going to do is we're going to have a little less being sent to it. And if we're going to reverb, since there's not an EQ on that reverb, I'm going to actually just remove all the bass, like the low end on this track, because if you're sending a lot of bass to reverb, and then when you start trying to increase your volumes, you're like, why is nothing working right? It's because you just got a whole lot of low end that's just getting amplified because it's going through your reverb. Just something to keep in mind. Okay. 2 tracks in. 2 tracks in 20 minutes. I'm having fun. Okay, what to do next? Now, this could just be like an ambient track, right? And we can just keep building ambient upon ambient upon ambient upon ambient. And yeah, it'll do exactly what you think it's going to do. Just for the sake of being a more entertaining, let's just jump to some drums. Like the Utes today. One sec. Carbonated water, baby. That's what it's all about. Okay, we're gonna go to the beatbox. Let's play with some drums. Now, I have a few favorites that I've kind of collected over the years, and I'm just going to go with one that I know is kind of tried and true. There's a bunch of different presets, and I've had lots of time to develop some. One that I really enjoy is the Hotel Caledonia. Hotel Caledonia. It's got a nice dry sound, this one. Which kind of, what would I say, it's juxtaposed to the really messy kind of tones that we got going right now. All right, creating a beat. There's a lot of right ways and a lot of wrong ways, and I subscribe to both, as I will demonstrate. To which the smart alecky ones can say, so when are you going to do it the right way? You're cool, man. I love it. All right. Okay, so we're just getting one beat per measure. I think I actually want to go maybe just a little bit faster. So we're just going to change the scale that we're adding notes in. Basically, we're splitting our measure up between smaller notes. Yeah, that's super fast. Not as smooth as I want. That's kind of cool. If it sounds really weird, it's because it's in 5/4. But one thing that I noticed when playing around with this, because it's a pattern, I like that you can kind of lose track of the beat. And it kind of just adds to the ambience of it, because you think you know what you're hearing. Your brain's kind of catching on to something, but then all of a sudden it gets thrown off because you're expecting this 4/4 kind of beat to happen, but then it's not what you're getting. Let's add a little bit more to this here. Add some hats. Nice. I'm going to hold off on the toms for right now. Now we can do some editing here. We can adjust pitch, a few transient aspects, as well as pan and volume for each of the drum samples that are being sounded. Gives us a considerable amount of control. Something that's very MODIAK to do is lower the pitch of the bass drum, crank it up full, make it so it's a lot drier. We can actually, yeah, you can solo the instruments as well. Yeah, you'll notice decay. You have like a lot more just tail end on there, and there's a little bit of high end on that. By lowering that, we kind of get rid of that high bit, and yeah, it's just like a very quick, like a very snappy kick. Lower the snare just a little bit. I'm going to split our hats between the left and right speaker. Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that. It's weird. Once again, we can add some effects. Something I like to do is add distortion. Okay, this would sound a little crazy as soon as it starts. I'll try to back it off. Just kind of loudness warning. I'm going to add distortion. Gonna have some saturation on there. Make it nice and loud. And let's get even weirder. I'm gonna add an auto pan to it. So now auto pan's basically like it's like a tremolo. It's making the volume go up and down, but it's doing the volume up and down between the left and right channels. One thing I like about it, it almost feels like the drums are like traveling through your head if you got headphones on. All right, now this is where the compressors are going to come in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send the beatbox sound to the compressors as a side chain, and what it's going to do is it's going to compress the ambient channels, so they're going to actually like get sucked up a little bit. I'll show you exactly what I mean here. Solo them. So they kind of got like they're being affected by the drums essentially. So it's not like this smooth, solid sound. Now I'll turn them off actually. That's with compressors off. That's compressors on. So it's actually adding a little more texture to what we're doing. And I can increase the effect by increasing the volume to the drums, and that's why I like having that distortion on there. Because now it's going to hit those compressors a lot harder. The effect will be a little stronger, so I'm going to take that reverb off of that channel. Yeah, and you can see that we're totally maxing out the beatbox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that volume down even before taking the mute off. Otherwise it's going to blast our headphones. Yeah, nice and loud. Now, along with adding some texture, what this is also doing is, for the drums, it's giving the drums a bit more of a pocket to sit in. So it's not competing for bandwidth, essentially. But I'm going to add some reverb to these drums. Few little adjustments there. Cool. All right, I think we're good to try out. Let's add a little bit more. So yeah, now we've just got this this loop going, and we can continue to add more and more stuff to this loop. Yes, maybe let's add some something a little more melodic. Something I enjoy is some soft electric piano. Oh, it's muted. Okay, cool. Add just a little bit more variety, so we're going to go out to about 4 measures. We're going to stay on, I think it's an 8th note. I'm just going to I'm going to vamp it. Kind of like just sort of incidentally how I was hitting those keys. I enjoyed how that sounded. Ooh, it's a little wild. Cool. So I was being a little quiet there because I'm sure you'd like a little break from my voice, maybe a break from the noise in general, but I try to embrace just a little bit of like automatic writing. Just kind of follow the feel of the music. Really enjoy what that's doing. It's cool. Let's make it cooler. Yeah, add some real, very analog sound to it. Analog basically meaning not perfect. Add some delay to it. Very spacey. Love it. Did this tune act in American Beauty? Because it's sounding spacey. So I just finished watching a whole bunch of BoJack Horseman, so anyway. Yeah, love it. Our digital sun's coming together here. Let's try adding some bass. So there's the bass line instrument, which has some cool effects. I find it to be kind of difficult to use. So let's go for it. So bass line, I think it's meant to emulate like, I want to say like an old 808 kind of sound, if I know exactly what I'm trying to talk about. The real nerds will know. Correct me in the comments, that's always fun. I like being corrected. Now you can see why it's handy having the like the chord control that we've had. So I'm probably shouting a little bit. I'm going to turn myself up in my headphones here. Actually, I turn this down just a little bit. I swear I put a little bit of effort in before this to make sure levels would be even. So I'm not shouting at you the whole time. Alright, back to our bass line. something I like doing here. We're going to go out to 4 measures. So that's our baseline. That's where it was. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all, copy, paste. We're going to actually have this rising a little bit. We've got a little more movement going on. Now there are some fun things we can do with this synthesizer. Now we've got our main sound going. Let's make a square wave. Yeah, that's sick. Very digital sounding. Love it. What to do with effects? Maybe not. Auto pan, why not? That's phaser. I'm liking it. It's got some flow, a little bit of movement for a loop. It's interesting. It's doing some interesting things in this the stereo field. I'm enjoying the elements that feel like they're just moving between the left and right channels, so it feels like it's like making this little journey through your brain essentially. And we're at 6 tracks. Now I have filled up a whole one of these things, basically doing this. We're at about 47 minutes. I don't want to go too much longer than an hour. Let's add one more element, and then we'll say this is good. What to do? We need some a string element of some sort. I was thinking of some rising strings. Let's check out the pad synth. The pad synth is weird. I still haven't fully understood exactly what it does. It's complex. Oh, helps if it's not muted. Got a very 80s sound to it. Don't know if it'll work. Alright, let's pull it out to 4 measures. Try some quarter notes. It's a little weird. I'll keep it. That's a little weird. I think I'll keep it. Another little trick I enjoy. We're going to select everything, copy it, and then we paste, and then we expand. It's got like a very Nintendo 64 kind of sound to it. I'll let you decide if that's a good thing or not. A little bit of a pitch degradation going on there. It's very Digital Sun sounding now. Some bit crush on there. And let's have it join the other two channels there. It almost has some lead element to it, but it's so distorted that it only comes into effect in just minute amounts. Let's send that to our delay. Actually does that kind of the effect that I was thinking of. Not exactly, but I'm not disappointed. Messages. I thought I'd turn those off for this. Well, just goes to show that's what happens when you work on your phone. Let's see, I'm a busy guy. Okay, I think this is cool. We're gonna keep this. So these are the separate tracks. We started off with that. We added that. That's our drums. It's kind of just like a melody texture. That's our kind of car sick bass line. And our really distorted melodic tone. Okay, that's our tune. I hope you've enjoyed. I've had fun. And yeah, let's try this out again sometime. Maybe we'll see what we can create. I'll try maybe this next week. Why not? Anyways, take care. This has been MODIAK with YIJIT FM, your media frequently modulated. Just another part of all the crazy things I'd like to start trying to do. If you like this, please check out my music on SoundCloud as Radiant Abyss. Over 200 and something tracks on there right now. And if you like this, let me know. I'd be happy to share some MIDI and stems if anybody'd be interested in playing around with this on their own. Stay noisy.